Cobra River, situated in the western region of Ghana, flows through the Dwaboso and Nzema East districts. Direct mining on the river in many of the communities along its path has reduced its integrity. The Ankobra is contaminated. The 2023 testing of samples from various catch points revealed high levels of arsenic, chromium, cadmium, lead, and other harmful metals from Galamsey.
Hi everyone, welcome to Ghana Observer. So I saw this video of President AKUFO unveiling a statue of himself, and my question is, I'm really wondering, why isn't he using the same energy to sign an executive order to ban Galamsey until we figure out what to do as a nation? Because it's ruining or has ruined Ghana's water bodies, a majority of Ghana's water bodies. So why isn't he using the same energy in the same western region where the statue was put for him or was erected for him to deal with this Galamsey issue that is just decimating, just destroying our water bodies in Ghana? And just to be clear, before anyone comes for me that I'm NDC, I'm MPP, no. I'm for whoever puts Ghana and Ghanaians first. That's the most important thing for me. I supported this government initially, most especially because of free SHS. Because I was just so happy that there would be an even playing field for all Ghanaian children entering the secondary school system. So I didn't, at that time, I didn't care. So long as things were working for Ghana and Ghanaians, it was okay with me. But now that free SHS is also riddled with all types of corruption. No one is held accountable. Some of the food fed to the students are a mess. The school schedules are a mess. When students are supposed to return to school, when schools are supposed to reopen, a mess. And again, no one is held accountable. No one is being told whatever you're doing is a mess on taxpayers' money. We pay you to do your jobs for us. The problem is the lack of accountability. So posterity is going to judge whether you did good or wrong. The reason why Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's statues can be found in many places in Africa, at least, is posterity judging him for what he did. So you don't have to erect your own statue to honor yourself. Future generations are going to decide whether you did a good job or whether you failed. Why are statues being built for oneself? And let's not forget that whole snitching episode that most Ghanaians were sickened by. But thank God that many Ghanaians know exactly what's going on.
Some security analysts have criticized President AKUFO for accusing the Burkina Faso government of harboring Russian mercenaries during a meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken.
Today, Russian mercenaries are on our northern border. Burkina Faso has now entered into an arrangement to go along with Mali in employing the Wagner forces there. I believe a mine in southern Burkina has been allocated to them as a form of payment for their services. Prime Minister of Burkina Faso in the last 10 days has been in Moscow. And to have them operating on our northern border is particularly distressing for us in Ghana. Apart from not accepting the idea of great powers once again making Africa their theater of operation, We have a particular position that you know about over the Ukraine war, where we have been very, very vocal and upfront about condemning the invasion of Russia by Russia. And therefore, then now to have this group at our borders is a matter of some considerable disquiet and concern for us.
It's important to make the point that the government of Burkina Faso is currently under attack by all kinds of forces, including the government of Ghana, not because it is putting the lives of its people in danger, but simply because it's standing up against new colonial domination. And that must be as clear as possible. I mean, this report issued by Human Rights Watch does not make any sense at all. Now, before the current government assumed office, this Islamic insurgents, or so-called Islamic insurgents, had captured close to 60% of the land territory of Burkina Faso. They were killing civilians. They were attacking villages, burning villages, killing government troops and so on. So what the Burkinabe government is doing now is to launch a counter-offensive in order to reclaim Burkinabe land, in order to establish the people's sovereignty over their own territory. And indeed, since this government came into power, more than 60% of the land territory of Burkina Faso has fallen into government hands. That is something which is commendable and not something to be condemned. Now, it is significant that a country like Ukraine publicly and brazenly has claimed to be supporting Islamic insurgents in the Sahel because it claims that Russia is supporting the legitimate governments in these places to fight against the insurgents. We should be focusing our attention on condemning Ukraine for its blatant interference. We should be focusing attention on condemning Ukraine for turning the Sahel and parts of West Africa into a killing zone in furtherance of its own ambitions and interests. You understand? Why does Ukraine think that there's any right to kill soldiers in West Africa or in the Sahel? Ukraine, of all countries. Yes, that's what we should be focusing attention on. I am in full support, 100% support of the government in Burkina Faso, because it is doing what all African countries should have done and should be doing. You understand? And these reports would not sway us. It would not sway the Pan-Africanists on the continent. It would not sway the anti-imperialist forces on the continent, from supporting the pursuit of the legitimate aspirations of the people of Burkina Faso. Human rights sometimes does some very good work and so on. But on this question, I think they've lost it completely. Human Rights Watch should be condemning the government of Ghana for seeking the assistance of the United States of America to intervene in Burkina Faso. That is what we should be condemning. Human Rights Watch, if it's serious, should be condemning the U.S. for supplying all the weapons that is being used in the genocidal attacks in Syria, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Gaza, and so on. That's what we should be concerned about. Human rights should be concerned about, the situation in which French troops are massing up in La Côte d'Ivoire, and the United States and other Western countries, NATO countries, are seeking to establish drone bases in La Côte d'Ivoire, in Benin and Ghana, for a senseless war against the popular forces in the region. That is what we should be attacking.
So again, I'm asking, why the need to blow one's own trumpet? Because the good that you do will outlive you. It will remain because posterity, as I said, the future generations are the ones who are going to judge your works. The good that you do will live and endure for years and centuries to come. In parts of North America and Europe, during the COVID time, tore down many of the statues, as you can see. Because after all these years, they found out that those works were not of good repute. So if not for self-aggrandization, why would you build a statue or have a statue built to honor yourself during your lifetime? Honor will come to those who deserve it. Honor will find them. So let's see how South Africa just honored Shaka Zulu, the founder of the Zulu Empire, after nearly 200 years, 2 centuries.
But let's pop you over to KwaZulu-Natal now. That's where we can see President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is standing there next to King Misuzulu kaZwelithini, as well as the Premier of the province, that's Tami Ntuli. They're set to unveil a new King Shaka statue at King Shaka International Airport. The monument apparently is meant to celebrate contributions of the Zulu culture, its history, and its national identity. The statue will also stand as a symbol of unity, we're told, pride as well for not only KwaZulu-Natal, but for the rest of the country as well. The thinking here is that it will help preserve the story for generations to come. All right, let's take you there and perhaps take in some of the Nat sound as we anticipate that grand opening.
Chesterfield, urobensalo khalaga bamhlophe belungu wathi inkomo zalukwanda kithi kwaZulu ngoba zalwa ngomashu thalo urebelseli thalo umfanka mphule isile basikhala endlini uba kubuka iphethe wakhathi bondaba kwakhuluma nje kwasendlini kwaba kwantuzwa hlakala makhosi wena wendlovu baye Ona kahlungane likandaba odlume emanqinelo kwasemanqinelo esebekele nodumehle esigamenzi ilembele eqama yamalembe ngokhalipha ingabe ekhala emthonjaneni zonke izizulu kulila ngoba izwe ngudunjwa engaselwengeni yesomanqengeza engakakhali usibagojela ngale kwenkandla ngoba lugojela njalo ngoba ludla amadoda yebakana amadoshiyana hlakala makhosi.
Protocol, please assist. We need to have our principals know what is going to happen. Protocol, please assist.
All right, if you've just joined us, we're watching visuals coming out of King Shaka International Airport. That's where President Cyril Ramaphosa, the king of the AmaZulu nation, and the premier of the province are unveiling a new statue of King Shaka Zulu. And there you have it, the magic moment. And perhaps we should take you back there once again for the Nat sound as we wait for this grand reveal of the statue. The thinking here is that it'll stand as a symbol of cultural identity, also will, I suppose, form part of the kind of contributions that the AmaZulu nation and their culture have made to not only KwaZulu-Natal, but the rest of the country as well. That's a much better shot there that we can give for you. Of course, King Shaka Zulu, ka senza ngakhona, a figure that has been certainly lauded as really shaping the Zulu nation as you and I know it today. And it's been fascinating to watch over history, even just over the past couple of years, the telling and retelling of his story, even in grand spectacular, as has been the case with recent productions that have scooped several awards. An individual who is described as Ilembe eleqamanya malembe. Essentially, that roughly translates to, a great warrior who doesn't really compare to other warriors. And so it comes as no surprise, some people might say, that so many decades, even centuries later, he's being honored in this way, as the work that he did, as some people might put it, continues in the kind of work that we're now seeing Misuzulu kaZwelithini now, lay out, not only for his people, but certainly the rest of the people of the country too. It's also been interesting as I stumble over my words, by the way, because I'm trying to draw you to the fact that, the idea of a monarchy has always been an interesting discussion, sometimes a debate in a country like ours. We do know, of course, that even most recently when there was the swearing in of the new king, there were questions around the extent to which there should be involvement from the state, given the fact that, of course, there are several people who find this concept of the institution of the monarch to be perhaps outdated, for lack of a better term. We're just staying with these visuals for you so that we can show you the final statue before we come out. And there it is, certainly a better sense of the statue of King Shaka Zulu. I think there might certainly be another one, if memory serves, but I stand to be corrected insofar as that is concerned. All unfolding this at King Shaka International Airport, of course, named after this great warrior of the AmaZulu nation, who is remembered certainly near and wide. President Cyril Ramaphosa is likely to speak. He is present. We also saw several government officials there, including the Transport Minister, Barbara Creasy, his deputy as well, who is part of the IFP, that's Mkhuleko Hlengwa, and several other people who are present there as well. So there you have it, the unveiling of a new statue of King Shaka at King Shaka International Airport. As soon as there are any formal kind of words from the president and others, we'll take you there live.
And that's how it's done. That's how it's done. No need to toot your own horn. After 200 years, I believe he died in 1828, King Shaka Zulu. So almost 200 years. But honor found him. Posterity judged his work. As a warrior king. That's Ghana's name, a warrior king. Posterity has judged him and see the honor that he's received. So President AKUFO of Ghana, no need to toot your own horn. There's absolutely no need, because there are pressing matters that Ghanaians and Ghana need you to focus on. In the little time you have left, we have pressing issues. Holding some of your ministers accountable would be a good start. And posterity, as I said, will judge you. Will judge your works. Folks, I'm going to end it here. Thanks so much for taking time to watch this video. Thank you to all my subscribers, to my viewers. Thank you for your continuing support of this channel as it continues to grow. Please continue to subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.